This is Azahel from Frost Like Ashes, and you are listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
So, you are listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast, and today we are talking to the band, which is Christian metal, which is called, what is it called?
Frost Like Ashes.
Frost Like Ashes. Shit, I'm sorry, I'm multitasking.
Sorry, you're peeing on your feet.
I know. We can get into that later.
There's nothing off limits on this show. Peeing on your feet.
No, and it wasn't my pee. It's somebody else's pee, but I don't know whose pee.
That's even better.
Do you notice how I'm staying out of this? I'm just like sitting in the background, letting you guys talk about peeing on feet. Like it's some episode of Friends, you know?
Dude, it's not so much that she's got pee on her feet, but she's got some unknown person's pee on her feet.
I know. We'll never find out who he is.
So that's sort of like a glory hole. You stick your feet in there and...
and we're about to interview a Christian black metal band.
Welcome to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Anyway, I'm Bruce.
I'm Rena from the band Silentium. Come check us out. I promise, like it's pretty politically correct, even though I'm not.
Unlike us.
I'm Chris, and I'm the sideshow.
You are the sideshow. Numbnuts, I think, is the term we lovingly refer to you as.
Sometimes
exactly.
I'm in charge of recording the podcast. I'm kind of like the producer.
Oh,
yeah.
You just want a title.
Yeah, you need a title.
Chris.
We're not giving you one. You have one.
So we'll come back to my glory hole conversation. But anyway, let's go ahead and grab Nick from Frost Like Ashes and see what he's got to say.
Jesus.
Well,
I'm adding him now.
This should go well.
The stuff we've talked about on here is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Nick, how are you? I got my partner Chris and Rena from Finland on the line.
Hello, Chris and Rena.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys doing over there?
Over where?
I'm all right with some piss on my feet. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to know.
She has a foot scrub, and it has pee in it. It's really weird.
Yeah. Sorry, we were having a chat before you joined, and the chat was weird, and it had to do with these peeling socks that I got, exfoliating socks that for some reason had 5% urea in them. So now we're just talking about this mysterious person's pee on my feet. And you're welcome to join us.
So welcome to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Yeah, it's too bad they didn't have like a profile that came with the socks. So, you know.
Yeah.
Nick, I tried to warn you ahead of time, Nick. I don't know where this usually goes, so.
Yeah. Well,
now it happened it's like
to the Europeans.
That's right.
Hey.
Sweet. So anyway, thank you for joining us. Sorry about Rena, but not that we're judging. It is what it is.
It's very.
Sorry about Rena.
It's very European of her. So
Yes.
tell us. We would like your 2-sentence boardroom pitch for Frost Like Ashes.
2-sentence. Oh man.
It could be 3 sentences.
For me, Frost Like Ashes is really war metal. It incorporates black metal, but it also comes from a foundation of death metal. And it just tries to be as aggressive as possible and as powerful as possible.
Perfect. Does that work for you, Chris?
Yeah, I could take it. Sorry. I was just waiting. Bruce, I'm always getting stepped on in here, so I was just, sitting back.
Well, you were asking a question, and then when he responds, you don't answer, so there's usual conversation etiquette.
Yeah, well, you can edit that. Sorry. Okay. Bruce?
So Nick, you sent me some new stuff the other day. Is that a new project, a side project, or what does that end up being?
That is a project with myself and the guitarist from a death metal band called Sympathy. He's from Alberta, Canada.
My hometown.
And really?
I'm originally from just outside Edmonton.
Oh, okay, he's from Calgary.
Oh yeah.
Although I think he originally is from Saskatchewan, so
ouch.
Just not that far north from where I live currently. So yes. And so he had written this album and had been working on it for a while, and then asked me to join with him to create the vocal lines and do all the vocals on it. So we're doing that, and it's completed, and hopefully it'll be out in maybe February, March, something along those lines. And then we have a deal for the second album already. So
that's awesome, man. I don't know if I mentioned it. That's Ninth Sphere, right?
Yep, Ninth Sphere is the name of that band, and
once it comes
the album
out,
is Uriel.
Once it comes out, and bars are back open, you guys can go play Vern's downtown Calgary.
There you go. We need a drummer, and we need another guitar player and a bass player, but
oh yeah, so there's that. But this was it. So it's a 2-man project at the moment.
Yeah. Yep.
And how did you guys? I guess with all this pandemic crap going on, are you just sending files back and forth, and how did the whole writing process go?
Yeah, and it's similar to how we're doing with Frost Like Ashes as well. Each of us have our own home studios. And so in this case, he had been working on this for a while. So the music was pretty much done and recorded. And so he sent me files. I used those in my home studio to write the vocal lines and record scratch tracks, just send those back and forth to try to get them the way they should be. And then I actually went into a friend of mine's studio here in town. He has another death metal band here, and it just was much easier to record them there with somebody doing the engineering and just helping out, letting me know if I hit the timing right and all those sorts of things. So
where are you located?
I'm in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Ah.
So center of North America.
That's flyover country, right?
It is. Even the people that live in flyover country fly over this place. So most people think we're actually part of Canada, but we're not.
But I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that kind of atmosphere though leads to more authentic black metal, right? Doesn't it connect more?
Yeah, I think so. It's easy to just drive 10 minutes and be out in nature and be out by yourself. And I think all those things lend itself to black metal, and just the being an individual and being independent and self-sufficient in some ways. All of those things fit into writing black metal a little bit better. Plus I'm in the north, so it's cold 8 months out of the year, and probably similar to northern parts of like Norway or Finland or Sweden. So very similar atmosphere.
Is it cold over there, Rita?
I think she's gone.
Oh.
She must have dropped off. Let me see. Oh, no, it says she's still here. She's putting more pee on her feet.
Are you washing your feet?
No, but I was just on mute. Sorry. But I was here like, yay, Finland. I'm in.
I actually have a question unrelated to music. How many people from North Dakota go to Canada for marijuana tourism?
Oh boy. I don't know. Right now, 0 because we can't go to Canada.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The
Shit.
borders are closed.
Yeah. But before the borders were closed, was it a big thing? Like, would people go up through Estevan just to get high?
I wouldn't think that, generally people that smoke weed aren't very motivated. So I can't see them making that sort of effort. No. No. If they get out of the front door, that's saying a lot.
And past the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you, Nick. So
Sorry. I've just known too many bands that if they wouldn't have smoked weed, they might have been popular.
right,
But,
yeah.
I just know I moved to Vancouver. I lived in Vancouver for like 20 years, and like as soon as marijuana was legalized, they saw a huge uptick in tourism, like massive. It was crazy.
Interesting. So, Frost Like Ashes, Nick. What are they doing? I know you guys are working on some new stuff. You have any timeline?
The timeline, I'm not really sure. Actually, Sabat just had open heart surgery yesterday, so so I'm not sure. It went well as far as I know, and so I'm not sure how soon he's going to be back into the swing of things. Pretty much we're doing an EP right now. We also are having the works of re-releasing all of the releases we've done so far, and then we are putting out Tofet on the vinyl, and that should be out pretty soon.
And I think I read somewhere, or you told me about, you guys have a DVD or some kind of video project out too as well, right? Possession?
Possession, yeah. I'm putting that together just for the supporters of the reissue that Possession had back in September that we just released.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now it's nothing professional. I'm just taking clips. We only have like 5 shows recorded that I could find. So not a lot out there. Probably about an hour and a half worth of music. So maybe after I get this put together for the supporters of that release, then I will look to do something a little more professional that we would actually sell.
Gotcha.
So,
Chris?
I don't have anything else, Rena.
I think yeah.
Rena, you're way too quiet.
Were I? I'm sorry. I was just offended about the weed talk. I'm kidding.
You resented it, or you were offended by it?
You probably won't remember it tomorrow, so yeah.
Oh, shots fired!
Nick, are you guys doing anything different or special online to interact with your fans at all? But because you can't go out and play?
Well, we've kind of been in that situation for a while. I moved up here in 2004, and so at the time I was going back and forth a couple times a month to do rehearsals and write material and record and things like that. So we were playing shows, and we played a couple festivals since then. But it's been a few years since we've been out playing live, and at the moment we don't really have any plans to do that again. So it takes such an enormous effort. We live all over the country, and we really have to take a full week off to get the songs back into shape and to be able to play live. And so it's a lot of expense to do that. So I don't know about playing live in the future, but we've been working really hard at mainly Facebook. I mean, I have everything as far as social media, but with Frost Like Ashes in particular, I kind of let Sabat be the voice of that band.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's mostly him interacting with people, and he's really good at that. If there's stuff that he can't answer or people have specific questions, then he sends them on to me. But it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well, answering messages, and we're always open to that. We always have been. Even back in Possession days when we didn't really have much of the internet going at the time, we just wrote an amazing amount of letters to people. Anybody that wrote in, we would personally respond to, and it's just kind of been the way we want to be, because our music, and anybody that's playing death metal or black metal, it's the same. Our music speaks for itself, but to really get down into the songs or into people's opinions on things, it has to be one-on-one with people, after the shows, or now online, or writing letters. That's the way you really interact with your fans, and right. You really get to know them. So we've always tried to do that. So
yeah, I completely agree. That's the right way to do it. And I've never understood the whole, like, I'm bigger and better than you, so I will not acknowledge your existence approach that some artists have to their fans. So that's a really nice thing to hear, that you guys are taking a different route.
Yeah, it's, I've even experienced that myself. I contacted a band one time because I couldn't find lyrics for an album. And their only response was, "Go buy the album."
Yikes!
and I'm like, I did buy the album off of iTunes, and it didn't come with lyrics, and there's literally no lyrics online. And he never even replied back. It was just this, no appreciation for being interested in his band at all. It was quite amazing.
Just a complete lack of basic manners, which I find always a little annoying. Like,
do you find that with metal bands a lot, though? I mean, most of the bands I've spoken to have been amazing.
Right. Yeah. So I think most people do have manners, and it's always like, I think some people have this delusion that the cocky asshole attitude somehow is prerequisite. Is that a word? I hope it is.
Yes.
For being an actual rock star, that you can't be a nice person and treat people with respect, but somehow you need to be like, and that's dumb. It's not true. Like, I completely agree. Like, you want to form an actual relationship with your fans. You want to, like, be a human to human, and that is in everything. I think the level that you should meet your fellow people, fellow humans, dwellers of this planet. But yeah, I think most people are nice, but some do.
I mean, I think you have to be nowadays, right? Because the music business is pretty much in the toilet anyway.
Yeah, and I think it's been sort of like evolving to the direction where the music in itself isn't enough, but social media and all the platforms that you're supposed to make yourself as a person sort of like available on. So, like, that your personality now carries a lot more weight in the success of your band too. And I guess for some people, the asshole role can work, but I don't know.
I was thinking of it works pretty well for Mayhem. So
right, yeah. But then,
there's also some degree of, in bands like Frost Like Ashes, for instance, where Azahel is a little more separate from myself.
Right.
Azahel only exists on the stage and in the album, and so. He doesn't even speak from the stage, and I kind of view him as a alternate personality. So I think it can work if you keep it separate and you keep the arenas that you're doing it in a proper perspective.
Right. Right. So it's sort of like, because it's fiction. It's not like, that you're that person for real, and that you can have, I don't know, a band with, well, like yours, that maybe you can't be all like rainbows and unicorns and happy joy, but you need those roles sort of keep it going. But that doesn't take away from the whole, like, when you do encounter your fans at their grassroots level, to just treat them with respect.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, Azahel is a part of me, I would say. So it's not a fully concocted character. I would say it is me, but it's just a different aspect of me.
Right.
And it's it has its place and it has its purpose.
Yeah.
The attitude that I have writing the songs or performing the songs is not the attitude I have towards people when I speak to them one-on-one, right. no matter who they are. So in that respect, it's separate. In Possession, I didn't have a character on stage. I was myself, but I had a hard time separating the two. And that was very early on in my career. So when I stepped off the stage, I didn't stop being who I was on the stage. And sometimes that wasn't the best.
Right.
Give us an example. What happened?
Just, in fact, there in one of the videos for the DVD, I'm on the edge of the stage. I think it's off camera that this happens, but somebody threw a beer at me or something. I'm not really sure what it was. And, I walked back over, get my big, huge cup of water that I had and walk back over to the side of the stage and just throw it right in his face, and this is in the middle of a song. And, and so when the show ends and I walk off the stage, people are just so kind of taken aback by me that the whole bar just parts, and I just walk right through and I just go and sit by myself in the corner of the bar and don't talk to anybody. It wasn't a typical go back to the table and greet fans or anything like that. There was just this, and of course I was in Kansas City, so there was a clash of musical styles there anyway. But it just kind of went like that, But if somebody had showed up at band practices or we would be hanging out with other bands, it was a completely different person,
Interesting.
And yeah, I was kind of shocked actually when I started watching the DVD footage from back then at kind of how I was, and I'm a different person now. I'm a little more mature. So
come a long way.
I was going to say that kind of seems normal for a metal show. Some guy gets a beer thrown at him, the band throws a beer back or water or whatever. Doesn't seem surprising.
No, I don't think that part is. I think it's just that I couldn't turn that off when I would step off the stage.
Oh,
right.
Gotcha.
There was still huge animosity towards him or towards anybody that wasn't paying attention to the show. I mean, I was, if somebody was not in the pit doing the pit properly, I was mad at him. It was just, I was just heavy metal all the way. And if you don't like heavy metal, I was like Manowar,
Yeah.
In my mind, death to false metal and all of its posers,
Right. Only for the true.
Yes.
Nice.
You got anything else, Chris?
I don't, man. Thank you for joining us. Where do people find your band?
You can probably the best place is Facebook. So in Facebook, you can look up Official Possession, and that would be all things Possession. You can look up Frost Like Ashes. That's all things Frost Like Ashes. Ninth Sphere does not have anything set up yet. As soon as we get artwork and logos and all of that completed, then we'll set those things up and we'll link them all together. Azahel has his own page as well, so you can look that up there. And anybody's free to message me, and I message everyone back. So,
what's your response time rate?
Right.
Generally pretty fast. I have my phone on me all the time. I do everything through my phone, which sometimes is a little cumbersome, but I always have it with me. So
cool.
Chris, Chris, we were just talking to, I don't even remember who we were just talking to, and they were talking about their response time. So Chris now has it in him that he's going to ask everyone today what their response time is.
If I see it, it should be within the day, hopefully within hours. And, sometimes with the Facebook pages, they don't send you the notifications very well. And so I do miss some occasionally. I need to just go in there every day and check them, deliberately rather than wait for notifications. But as things progress with Frost Like Ashes, he's pretty quick. A lot of times it's within an hour you'll get a response from that, and that won't be with me. That will be with Sabat, and he's out of commission at the moment. So
maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you very much, my friend. I'll talk to you online. I'll send you a link when it's up, and thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for everything you do, Bruce. Nice to meet you guys. I've been listening to a lot of the shows, and so it's cool to get to actually talk to you.
And you still decided to do it after listening to us, huh?
Yep, even then. And if you could send me a link to those socks, my heels are a little rough. I don't like it.
I can tell you that the pee didn't do shit for my feet.
Yes.
Nice. All right, man. Take care.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.